All right, episode 33. We are headed into the fourth quarter, and we're going to break down how to go after that now business and make sure that your end of the year finishes strong and you start out 2020 with a bang. Bow, bow.
Welcome to the only real estate podcast worth listening to, with your hosts Nick Good, Matt Kelderman, and Brian Force. Combined, they have 26 years of experience and have sold over 1,500 homes. Join them each week as they bring you everything you need to know about real estate. And now, here are your hosts, Nick, Matt, and Brian.
What's up?
What up?
Yo.
Just dropping tacos emojis down in the comment section.
Yeah, man. If you're local and you want to come hang out with Brian and I next Thursday from 3 to 6 at Ruins in Deep Ellum.
Yeah, we're changing the dates.
I know Nick's out of town. He wants to switch it all around.
Yeah, we're changing it. It's actually going to be tomorrow, Thursday.
Tomorrow, Thursday.
I'll be there.
Nick's going to show up at Ruins if anyone wants to go hang out with him too. But you guys should come out, man.
Yeah.
Have tacos with us.
How's everything going, guys?
Oh, another Wednesday in paradise. Oh, I turned myself off. Derek, I hit a button.
Oh, no. I can still hear him. He doesn't realize that.
But
You're still good. We
I
can
think
hear
you're
you.
good.
No, it's just my headphones.
Brian, plug yourself back in. That's what's going on over there.
Well,
This is episode 33, our first technical meltdown.
yeah.
It's pretty good.
I think
It's
that's
pretty
real
by us.
good.
Why are you
I
guys
know.
putting stuff so close to my feet?
It's a chaos in here. Give this man no.
Fixed it. It's cool. Fixed it myself.
So while Brian's fixing himself and we're getting started, if you haven't done so already, please do us a favor and go and request to get into our private Facebook group, the only real estate group worth being a part of, as well as go to our iTunes and leave us a review. We're starting to see more and more reviews go on there.
Yeah, we got some good ones. People actually kind of like this show. It's weird.
I know they were like, we enjoy the words you say and they are helpful. And I was like, we're idiots.
I was like,
Yeah.
no one's ever said that to me in my life.
Yeah.
My parents don't say that to me. They're like, calm down,
For
Brian.
good reason, right?
But I'm starting to get more and more messages coming in, which is a cool thing about how it's helping,
Yeah.
right? And you're going to start seeing people are going to start seeing hopefully next week or the week after. We're gonna do a little bit of a change in how we do the intro. We're gonna ask you to go to a website to get onto a webinar
Yep.
of one of our specialties. All of our specialties, in fact, is taking more listings.
Yeah.
So, and then ultimately, the goal is to get you to sign up for touracademy.com.
TourAcademy.com. $1 for your first month.
Go there.
Go there.
Pay $1.
Do you think you could do that every time?
I could do that every time. I'd have to.
We're going to have just Derek record it so we don't have to like
No,
just
I want it
sexy
live.
radio
I want it
voice,
live.
voice live every time.
TourAcademy.com. What did I say?
No, you messed it up.
Yeah, I
See?
messed it up. I
Yep,
can't.
yep.
Nope, that was it. It's never
So-
gonna happen again.
We are talking today. We've got 2 weeks left. Well, actually, a week and a half.
Yep.
For till the end of the third quarter, start of the fourth, and something that's been coming up, and we talked about on the Tour Academy Zoom Mastermind that we had this past Monday, that we do twice a month for our members, is really how to get that now business.
Yep.
To make sure that you're not going out of business at the end of 2019.
Yep.
So what are you guys doing right now for your fourth quarter push to get some more listings?
No,
Listings are huge.
I'm not doing anything. Going on vacation.
You're going on vacation.
He's
Isn't-
shutting it down. For
Homes
3
don't sell
months.
during the holidays, is what I've been told.
That's
Yeah.
fourth quarter is the worst quarter of the entire
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I've been
So-
told too.
That is
Yeah.
false. That's false. I was telling them the other Q4 is my second best quarter every year, and I don't know if this is actually true or just something I made up and I tell people now, but I feel like the buyers and sellers that time of year are way more serious. There's less of each of them, but the ones that are out there are serious as a heart attack. Because otherwise, why in the world would you dick with the real estate process that time of year?
I mean, October is usually my worst month. I'm going to
Sure.
say last year was a freaking shit show. Like, I literally probably had a panic attack because I think I don't even know if we really sold anything. It was like right at $1 million.
Wasn't one of like your worst months ever?
ever?
Yeah.
You
I
know,
remember you saying
yeah, that was a freak out moment. But then November, December, and even January rolls around, and we have great months. And it's December is usually our second to third best sales month, which means that we need to start getting more and more homes on the market October, November timeframe.
Yep.
And the number one objection that we faced during that time is, no, we're just going to wait till the spring.
Yep.
I don't want to go on during the holidays. I got too much stuff to do. And while Brian has his head on his microphone.
Isn't it amazing how we shut down life for like a 3-month period because of a repetition of a holiday at the end of each month? We're like, I can't do anything for the next 90 days.
Yeah.
There's 3 holidays coming up, and I just got to shut it down. There's too much decorating
I can't.
that has to go on.
I got 3 very important days coming up in the next 3 months. I need to pretty much just focus on
and are we counting
those.
Halloween as
Yeah.
an important?
People,
I think in 2019
I'm
we
going
do
to my whole October shot. We got Halloween coming
My
up
son
on the
calls
31st.
Asher calls it Trickoween, so I'm going to start calling it Trickoween.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That's
so
pretty-
Heather, you're watching now.
Agents are actually worse about this than buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
Agents are the ones who are like, they're the ones who really shut it down.
Yep.
The buyers and sellers are looking for somebody. All the agents are just at home.
Well, that's like the whole thing, right? Is like this. There's really 2 things you need to keep in mind if you're going to have a really strong fourth quarter. One, the effort that you think you need to put in to hit your goals is not linear across the entire year. Like, it is fundamentally true that you should have to work slightly less hard in second and third quarter to do more deals because more people are looking to buy and sell homes, right? So you're probably going to have to double up your lead generation efforts in the fourth quarter. And then the other thing that you need to think about is every single person that uses that excuse to you is lying to you in one of 2 ways. Either they're lying to you because they will do something in the fourth quarter and they're just telling you they're waiting till the spring to get you off the phone, or 2, they're lying to you when they say, yeah, follow up with me in the spring, we'll talk then or whatever. They are never going to speak to you again.
Yeah.
And if you just keep that in mind and be gangster about it, you're going to have a much better fourth quarter. Meaning, like, do what you're supposed to do rather than just giving up like every other agent. When someone says, hey, we're holding off till next spring, find their motivation, find their story, find what's important to them about moving. Be a resource, a piece of value to them. Speak truth to why it makes sense for them to either put their home on the market or be searching for a home in the fourth quarter. If you provide real value and a little bit of real salesmanship to people, understand that you have very little competition right now because people just aren't working that hard for the next 3 months.
Yeah. Can I tell a little story about a listing I took today? So expired listing came in, had been with another agent. They were disappointed with how it went down, right? Also felt like their home was probably a little bit overpriced for the market once they because they just didn't have very many showings, right? So your home was overpriced. If you had no showings, your home was priced too high. That's a fact, right? So we went in there and they wanted to kind of list right now, but they're also kind of open to listing in the spring, and their sense of urgency is kind of in a couple of different places. So I introduced the idea to them of, we're in Texas, right? So I understand why you would do this in markets like Vermont or Minneapolis or something like that, where it gets cold and then the exterior
Chicago.
photos don't look great. But we pretty much got green grass year round down here, so it's no big deal. But I did tell them, I said, why don't we go ahead and shoot the photography and the videography, because it's on a luxury home, so we're going to do videography on it. Let's put it on the market in October. Let's let it ride through the holidays, right? We'll market our asses off. We'll go out and crush it on that side of it. See how many showings we can get. See how the market responds to it. And if we don't get something, let's pull it off the market for a couple of months and reset and see what the spring looks like, right? Yep. One, they hadn't considered that idea. I think it also gives me the opportunity because of their previous experience. Our cost of acquisition on that wasn't super high. The photography and videography or there's a cost associated with that, but I also feel like once they're in my relational world, they're probably not going to leave.
Yep.
Right? Unless Nick comes along and talks them out of it or whatever. But for the most part, I felt like that was a really good way to explain to them and give me an opportunity to show that I'm going to be better than their last agent, even if for some reason the home doesn't sell. Maybe it really is the time of year. Maybe it really is the fact that there's new construction going on near them, right? I do believe that our systems and our follow-up and our ability to gather data will allow me to show that to them over the next couple of months and ensure that I get it in the spring when it most likely will sell. They'll be a little more realistic, a little more motivated. They'll have a little bit better equity position. Hopefully interest rates are still okay, right? So all that. So I just think there's all kinds of reasons that went into that, and they end up signing it today. So I just want to share it with everybody because maybe you should try it too.
Boom. I love it. I mean, that's the thing. You're just using, it's not like, this is what I think maybe annoys me about some of the mindsets people have towards this. Is like nothing you just said was salesy at all. It's almost like when we talk about having a strong fourth quarter, do this and that. It's almost like we're convincing each other that we got to bait people into actually doing something in the fourth quarter. Like no, like the reality is just like most of other major industries, the consumer is largely uneducated, right? And people just have serious misconceptions about what it is like to buy or sell a home in the last 3 months of the year.
Whose fault is that?
Oh, it's the agent's fault.
Because I will tell you, 90% of the time, it's almost a lot of times. So I'm hearing stories where the agent's like, yeah, this is not the best time to sell. And it's like, what are
It
you
just
doing?
doesn't make any sense.
Where's your facts? Where's your stats on that?
Right.
Right?
How the
Like-
hell do you know that putting your home on the market, the right buyer's not going to walk through the door tomorrow?
Yeah. Do all the buyers just take off?
That just doesn't
Like-
make... The
like-
right time to sell is when it makes sense for you as a seller.
Yeah, this is look the end of the year, and you can use. So we shared on the Tour Mastermind Zoom call on Monday. You know, there's 7. Like I've got multiple, and you can go Google it and find it. You know, I pulled up just one of the ones that we have saved is the 7 reasons why you should sell during the holidays.
Yep.
Right, they're all generic. Right, it's all stuff that we need to be already knowing and telling people.
Right.
And at the same time, you know, what is it? Is it facts don't? What is it? Facts tell or something sells or some bullshit, you know, saying like that.
Something walk bullshit.
Bullshit walks.
Yeah, something.
Yeah.
dumb.
Ends in bullshit walks.
Yeah. You know,
I think
but
is what you're talking about.
something like that. But at the end of the day, it's about getting that motivation and painting that picture of that end goal.
Yep.
Right? You know, Tell to Win, which is a book that Michael Reese recommended. I bought it. It's a great book. And we really get sucked into that storytelling of it. So if we were to paint that picture, Brian, of like, hey, at the end of the day, you know, you don't have to put up with a lot of tire kicker showings, right? Because I'm going to tell you right now, through that summertime, there's a lot of people that, oh, we just started our look. We just started looking. Well, you don't see that feedback as much towards that last quarter of the year.
Yep.
Right? Those people, or I guess they're getting ready for Trick-a-Ween, picking out their costumes. Actually, let me ask you a quick question. This is not real estate related. You've all seen SpongeBob?
Of course.
Is the crab the worst character on SpongeBob?
Dude, I'll be honest with you. Like, Jennifer completely lost her mind about, like, Luke doesn't even watch SpongeBob for some
Really?
reason. Yeah, she, like, thinks it's, like, Ren and Stimpy, like, style humor, right? Where it's, like, the adults are like, dude, that's dirty.
Really?
Right? Like, yeah. So,
It
I mean,
is.
I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
But I don't know enough about it. The crab is weird.
There is it. All right. The reason I bring it up is my stepdaughter Addie was in a group text, and she woke up late, and her group of friends said they were going to go as, you know, the characters on SpongeBob. And everyone claimed a character, and so that left her as the crab, Mr. Crab or whatever it is. And she threw a fit.
Oh, I would too.
But I'm like,
Because he's like really fat.
I
is
think
he?
he's the bad guy of the show.
He's
Is
not.
he?
Yeah, people don't. I think everybody, but I guess Patrick.
He's like the curmudgeon of the show.
Okay, because I'm like, does it matter? Like, can you make the crab cool?
I think so. You should just get a bunch of frozen hamburger patties. Anybody talk shit to you about it, you just whip those bad boys at them.
You should be
teach
very
him a
happy
lesson.
as a parent. It's very difficult to go as a slutty crab, so you should be eating this up. Very happy about our costume choice.
So, side note on that. So, if you have a comment on that, is the crab the worst character on there? Drop a comment.
If you
down
can
below.
remember where you left off before you went over to that, I'm
Yeah.
going to be impressed.
That was an
'Cause I
intense
don't.
left turn.
Yeah, I don't know where I was.
I mean, I don't know where you were either.
I'm-
I can't even get us back on track.
Somehow I was talking about telling stories, and that just popped up in my head because Heather and I were on. I have to drive Heather to work every day right now because she's in a neck brace.
she's robo closer. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's in this damn neck brace, and we were just talking about this damn crab and how is it really the worst character. So, but no, it's going back to really, educating those sellers,
Yeah.
right? And so when we're talking to those sellers, it's educating them on saying, look, I understand why you think it's a bad time because everyone's been telling you that.
Yeah.
And I want to walk you through why they're wrong, right? There's a reason why the average real estate agent is going out of business right now, that they sell less than 8 houses a year.
Yep.
And they don't make very much money, right? So they should actually be talking you into selling right now, by the way,
Exactly.
because Christmas is going to be very bad for their family.
Yeah. Well, and I think to that, but then I also think there are people who have legitimate reasons, right? It's not always the best time to sell, and asking better questions and understanding what their real motivation is, and I think getting beyond a surface level is a huge part of you determining about how to advise them next, right?
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the fourth quarter is not only big for fourth quarter. Fourth quarter is the trampoline that propels you into first quarter. If you're not setting, or if you're not generating a massive amount of people to nurture in your pipeline for first and second quarter, your first quarter is going to be worse than fourth.
Yeah.
I promise you that, right? Like this is you're 100% right. There is a legitimate reason that a lot of people will wait till the spring. And there's also not legitimate reasons that people will still choose
Sure.
to wait till the spring, right? You're just not going to win with everybody, right? But I mean, that is just the biggest, I think, mistake that agents make is, I mean, obviously we all know this. Your money is in your follow up, and we have such a terrible habit of poor follow up in this industry. Like, I really don't care if you make a move now, 10 years from now, or whatever. As long as you're in my world and I'm the one that you think of, that's what matters to me. Fourth quarter is a huge opportunity to build a massive pipeline of people that are going to be doing something next year, or 2 years from now, or 10 years from now. Who gives a shit, right? Like, you need to be, if you're not on appointments every single day, which if you're struggling in the fourth quarter, it's because you're not on appointments, then why are you not lead generating and building a ridiculous pipeline so that next year you don't even have to, you can just go celebrate Halloween every day in the fourth quarter next year, right? If you build a massive pipeline and kick ass for the first three, right?
I think that's one of the things, too, that if you're that real estate agent who's been at this for a couple of years now, you've made it through that initial sprint to get through the first year, and somehow you survive that, right? And now you have a business that looks really great in Q2 and Q3. Yep. But you always start the year really slow. Like your January and February, pretty much from November to January, you close like 4 deals. If you're that agent, and that's been your Q4 and Q1 the last couple of years, what you're not doing well is you're not lead generating well at the end of Q3 and Q4, because you should be filling your pipeline for February and March. Yep. Right, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah,
my pipeline in the spring is always massive because of especially the last 2 years that I've really figured this out, because of the work I'm doing now. So if you're finding yourself in that rut, I would challenge you to not worry about the business you're setting aside from it today. But if you get a 6-month out nurture, take that really, really seriously, because that's going to set you up for an unreal 2 and 3, which will prepare you into 4 for next year, and then you get out of this stupid ass cycle you've been in for 3 years.
But our job, though, with that, so let's take that. Let's break down your 6-month nurture, right? And I would take it a step further and ask, why are they 6 months out?
Sure.
Like, so we talked about it on the Zoom Mastermind call on Monday. I'm going to beat this like a dead horse, right? And it was about, let me show you why, or let me talk to you about why selling now versus waiting to the spring makes more sense, right? Because you're the 100th person that has told me they're waiting till spring. Your competition is waiting till the spring.
Exactly.
Right. So, what happens when 5 more homes in your neighborhood goes up for sale? There's probably 3 to 4 different floor plans in there, so chances are there's going to be a competing floor plan in there.
Yep.
And if they go lower price than you, now we're having a pricing war.
Yep.
Right? So if we can get you on the market at this very moment right now with less competition, the market's still strong. Yep. I had listed a home in Lakewood, and Lakewood is it's a good, highly desirable area. Mm-hmm. But during you would think that part, it goes to a really good elementary, that because school started back up, that it would be a little bit slower.
Yep.
Nope, listed this home. Price is a little bit on that higher side. Dude, we were blown away by how many showings we had. Got a next to full price offer.
Nice.
Meaning it wasn't full price,
right?
We're good at spinning that.
Yeah.
Full price.
But it was a buyer that's relocating from another state.
Yeah.
And we had potential backups coming in.
Right.
And so that was the thing with that is look, that's closing in October. That alone with some of our other deals, we've already doubled and a half what we did last year in October. Right. And it's because we're putting in that work now. My guys right now, if you go look and follow me on Instagram, it's we're taking listings and putting stuff under contract almost every day.
Yep.
Right? Yep. And it's because we're educating those consumers and saying, let me show you a better way. If we can get you to that destination faster, easier, with more experience, better service, let's do it right now.
That's what it is right now. I think the three of us specifically, and the agents who are serious about their business, are in a unique position to take territory. Because if you're an agent offering, I answered this guy's 11-question survey yesterday to take this appointment I'm going on for Friday. And he sent out this, it was a legit survey. And I think I won him over due to the fact that I just have more knowledge about that specific area than probably most of the agents he decided to. I sent out the email to the whole company and just showed them kind of how I unfolded it. And the average agent just doesn't have the time to offer the services we offer, have the staff to put those things in. And that's not a knock on the individual agent. I just think, and I don't even know if it's an individual agent thing or a team thing. I think you have to have a very, very clear value proposition and be able to deliver on it in order to take that business right now, because there are plenty of badasses who are out there like scrounging and hunting for business too.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Well, they have the time.
Sure.
right? I mean, they're not. It's not like they're getting blown over by deals and clients. So they
Right.
have the time. What they're not doing is they're letting their other distractions distract them from what their main responsibility is, which is treating this actually like a business and not like a $10 an hour part-time job.
Sure.
Right? They get into this, treating this like this is just a part-time job. They're going to wake up at 10 a.m. They're going to roll out of bed. They're going to bullshit around. Next thing you know, it's time for lunch.
Had that convo this week.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We did.
It's almost like I was there.
Yeah, it's almost like you heard this conversation.
But that's the thing, and
Yeah.
it doesn't change. That's the funny part, is you're going to have that conversation, it seems like, every other
You
month.
will, and I think that if we're talking about things that we do in the fourth quarter, like that is one of the other, I think, big, sort of things that people succumb to in the fourth quarter is like, it's not just that people focus on the holidays. I would say, and this is talking about agents. It's not just that we get busy with the holidays and family coming down and this and that. Like, I will tell you, I am much better with self-discipline than most people, but even I have mornings where it's like, this is a beautiful, cold, crisp November morning, and I really just want to drink some apple cider and watch Netflix.
Yep.
And it's really hard not to do that. It's fucking freezing outside, and I mean, here in Texas, it's not as bad, but it's just like there's something about fourth quarter that feels very
Absolutely.
sedated, and just keeping our habits, which the average agent is already not great with self-discipline, it gets worse in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean?
You just got built-in excuses,
Yeah.
right? Especially if you have kids too, because you then have a legitimate excuse of they're off school for like a month out of 3 months, which is
Yeah.
ridiculous, right? So somebody in the house has got to shut it down to go take care of them.
Which you just got back in that routine because it was summer.
Of course.
Right? So
Now that I'm out of school, I think these kids have way too much vacation time.
Oh, it's insanity, right? Feels like we went to school 365 days a year, I felt like.
I know. It's always in school.
So let's talk about, how can we get that now business, or actually I want to kind of flip it. I like what you said, Matt, is like, look, you're building that pipeline for Q1 of 2020, right? But if you're busting your ass on this, what's going to happen when you're shaking that tree is you're going to get some immediate now business
Yep.
out of that too, right? So there's the residual effect is going to be now business, plus you're building that pipeline. But you have to follow up. I on the way over, and hopefully she's listening. I sent her the link to watch today because she hadn't heard from us. Or hadn't heard about us, which is crazy. I'm like, never heard of this
Dude, we
podcast.
talked to a couple
this
of people
before.
this week that had never heard of us. I was
Yeah.
like, I just punched both of them.
Yeah, I'm like,
Do you not
gee.
even have the internet?
Yeah.
I mean, I thought you were sending emails to everybody.
It felt like that yesterday.
Yeah. But I, she hit me up because she heard that, through the grapevine that we're really good at expired listings. And this was like 3 weeks ago. This
Okay.
lady's follow-up with me was amazing.
Really?
But when I asked her what's going on in her business right now, she's like, I hate following up. It sucks. I'm like, really? Because you were knocking on my door like every other day, right? Trying to get me to open up about our expired listing business.
Yep.
I said, look, you need to whatever tools that you have. She's at EXP. And they have KV Core for free, but she's not utilizing it. She's sending her website domains forwarded to some. She didn't even remember.
Oh, that's bad.
Right? And so with that, as like, look, you've got to utilize the tools that you have and become the master of those tools, right? Whether that is KV Core, whether you're going to use a notebook that has, that with an accordion file that's 1 through 31, and you're going to make sure that you go through every day and see who you need to call and follow up with. It doesn't matter what the system is, as long as you master and follow up with it.
Yep.
And that's the thing with it is the follow-up's got to be there in order for you to win in Q1.
I just don't think there's a lot of reason to lead generate if you can't follow up. Because here's the thing: is anybody who will tell you who's lead generated any amount of realistic time in their real estate career, the immediate appointments, those are the fewest and furthest between. Almost what you're doing every day is finding somebody that you can follow up with later. It may only be a week later. It may be whatever. You were talking about Lakewood. I've got a year-long follow-up on a cold call that looks like it's about to turn into about $2 million worth of business, right? So, but that took a year, right? And there were other conversations in there, and there was stuff, personal conversations about a baby that was born, and all this other stuff that was going on, right? If you're not prepared to do that, lead generation is just like, dude, lead generation's a kit car. You know what I mean? It's like putting a Ferrari body kit on a Fiero chassis, man. like if you can't follow up, you're not doing anything.
Yep.
You might as well not even. You're just making yourself feel good about logging 3 hours of lead gen. That's all you're doing.
That's all it is, man. And here's the thing: you're not going to be logging that lead gen for very long if you don't follow
Noxie
up.
Gonzo.
Yeah, because you're not going to get anything from it. You know.
That's like running on the treadmill while eating ice cream.
That's the perfect way to put it, right?
Like this
you're
isn't
just
working.
sucked up in your face
I'm
with
getting fatter.
Marco's Pizza while you're doing your sprints.
Marco's is so good. If you're local, order Marco's.
That's all right. No.
What do you like?
I like Campese's.
Okay.
Oh, well, that's good, but
Yeah.
they're not like a straight up delivery. They're like a sit down restaurant.
Yeah.
No, they deliver.
Well, I know
They
they
do.
also deliver, but
You've heard of
They're like-
Flavor? Have you heard of?
Everything does technically deliver now.
technically,
You know
I
you
mean,
can Grubhub McDonald's. Is there anything? And look, this is a fat kid who loves McDonald's, man. I'll swing through and grab double cheeseburgers all day long, but Grubhubbing McDonald's is an absurdity to me.
I feel like that's got to be. There's a very hollow defeat in that. You know what I mean?
Accepting.
Like, not only am I eating McDonald's, I'm paying extra to have it brought to me.
And then it's cold McDonald's. I mean,
And
McDonald's
here's
is
the thing: like, I eat McDonald's. I eat other stuff. I eat Whataburger and stuff. I maybe only eat McDonald's once a year because I'm just not. I like other stuff, but I do it because there's no Chick-fil-A nearby. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, if you're actually ordering it, you had other options,
I'm gonna tell you
and
right
you
now.
chose McDonald's.
I don't even care if people judge me for this. I will go to McDonald's and eat a fillet of fish. I don't care. You guys can kiss my ass. It's delicious.
Filet of something.
Yeah. I'm bringing it way back. I'm an 80s kid.
No, thank you. I won't even touch that. So let's roll into your listings, your lead sources. That's going to get you some immediate now business while building that Q1.
People are gonna hate to hear this so much. Expires and Fizbo's dummy.
That's all it is, man.
It's like the
We're
most
crushing it
immediate.
with them right now. They're hard. They're fucking hard, man. But they're easier right now. Expireds are going to run into the spring thing regularly, right? And then that's just about you getting better, you skilling yourself up and getting better at finding and revealing motivation, speaking truth to their what makes them tick and why they're wanting to sell in the first place, really appealing to that. If you can do that, the opportunities are there, because the reality is, for the most part, even people working expireds right now are giving up so easily, because that's just an easy cop-out as we're waiting till spring or whatever. For the most part, that's not true. Even if it is great, like, I'll put a great follow-up plan in place that make sure that I'm the one that you come to in the spring. Fizbos right now are easy peasy, dude. If you're okay with getting shut down quite a bit from people that are stubborn, there's more good Fizbo business to be had out there than probably any other time of the year.
So, what are they giving up on? And you said agents are giving up sooner. Are they giving up because people aren't answering? Are they giving up because they're
hostile?
Yeah, they're rude.
It's a couple of things, right? I consider a few things to be giving up. One, they give up. I can just tell you from sitting in a room and being a part of a lot of agent successes and lead generation sessions every day. Expireds are hostile. It's always been a grind for expireds, and they're shutting people down in the fourth quarter, right? They're getting a lot of calls. A lot of agents are desperate right now, so people that usually don't call expireds are calling them right now. And then they're giving up, right? Like, agents are just giving up, I think, because they're having too many bad conversations. They're having just too many this, too many that. Or the other form that I think is giving up is they're succumbing to whatever the control, they're relinquishing control of the conversation to the expired.
That's what's happening.
Because it's just so easy to be like, we're just taking off the market, we're waiting to spring. Okay, cool. I'll call you in the spring.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you, you're poor. Like,
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, but that is, if you give up that easily in real estate, then you will be broke.
Like
Yep.
big gulps.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, see you later.
we've been taking expireds a lot, and we've just started focusing on for sale by owners, kind of through the realization that, dude, good real estate agents are struggling to market and sell homes right now and find the right price. Which, this is another weird thing, slight side note, in our market right now, and if you guys are experiencing this, when it comes to price adjustments and reducing, I'm finding that typically before, if you were in the ballpark, you would at least get a BS offer, right?
Yeah.
It's, at most price points, it seems to be that buyers aren't making offers until you're about $10,000 around that price. They're just not. So if you're typically in our market, when you used to be 25 over, you would at least still get an offer and start being able to play tennis with somebody a little bit, right? And volley the ball back and forth. Now, until you're right on top of it, and that's another conversation I've been having with sellers. So if you're in a market that's been hot and is kind of on the downhill slide or the leveling off period like we are, I think that's a really important thing you could talk to sellers about and be like, look, especially your sellers who are on the market and overpriced.
Yep.
I mean, I put 2 houses under contract last week that we price reduced for the second time and hit some magic button pricing-wise because all of a sudden showings picked up, offers came in.
Yep.
Right. And so I think you can have that same conversation with expireds, that it may not be that there was anything wrong with your house. The photography did look great. I don't know what marketing your other agent did, but I can tell you right now, if you're overpriced by even a little bit, buyers have other options. They're just going to go somewhere else. Right. So we're getting some of those expireds. We got price reductions before we even put it back on the market.
Yeah. And
Which
we
is awesome.
needed to, because they wouldn't have been sellable.
Absolutely.
Well, first of all, hopefully you were getting price reductions before they were going back on the market.
Well,
that's
some of them-
you showing the strength and showing that pricing was probably the wrong factor. I'm going to say, like, a lot of times price was an issue, and then when we sat down and talked with those sellers, it wasn't necessarily the seller that wanted that price.
Yeah.
It was that agent
almost always
that
been there, yeah.
suggested that higher price.
Yes.
And I'm sitting there and I just want to shake them. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, because we always ask the question, how did you come up with your price? How did you determine that? Well, the agent told me.
It's a good question. I don't ask that.
No, I will tell you that's the grass is greener on the other side of expireds. Is that expireds are some of the most difficult lead generation you'll ever do. As far as actually working with clients and getting them to do what is best for them, that second guy always has it easier than the first.
Absolutely.
Like, it's so much easier to get price reductions with expireds than it is with original sellers.
It's easier to get price reductions with expireds when you're providing them with data.
Yeah.
One of the things that I feel like we do really well is we show them how their home is performing against the market strictly from a showing standpoint. We show them exactly the homes, their competition that's relevant in their price point and zip code that's went under contract, and we're showing them how that home's performing against other home on the third-party websites.
Yep.
We can't expect them to be able to make an educated decision if we're not providing them with data. And I don't know who I'm stealing this from, because this is not mine, but the biggest difference between Amazon and the grocery store, because everybody delivers now, right? Amazon is able to gather data by knowing that you picked this thing up and put it back on the shelf.
Yeah.
And then if you delete it from your cart, they offer you 20% off, right?
Yep.
All we're trying to do is gather data so I can have better conversations with my sellers weekly and explain to them, like, look, the market is running away from you, or we're almost on top of it. This guy who looks pretty close to you just went under contract. It's pending, and they were 10 grand under us.
Yep.
Right? And it just and you go to them with that, and that's what most agents aren't doing. I talk to an enormous amount of expireds on a daily basis, and communication is 90% of their complaint. It's not that they wouldn't have done a price reduction. Their agent just didn't bring them enough information.
Well, you want to know why they're afraid of the communication?
Because it exposes them for being hacks.
Well, not that is it, and I was guilty of this, right? Because in the beginning, I'd come in and I want to be the savior,
Of course.
right? So I'm coming in and I don't want to necessarily. I didn't set that right expectation for pricing adjustments or anything at all.
Sure.
So I didn't want to quickly come in and be like, oh shit, we've got to adjust price because I was wrong. Now I have to have that conversation. I didn't want to have that.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why agents don't make the call.
Yep.
It's not that they don't want to talk to their client. It's that they don't want to come off and have to disappoint them.
Yep.
And so it's getting used to those fierce conversations.
That's all it is, man. It's running away from difficult conversations.
I mean, do you remember those times? And I still have it where I dread making that call to that client. And
There's
I put
certain
it off.
sellers who scare the
I put
S
it
out
off.
of me, bro.
I put it off. See, those don't. To me, they don't scare me because what ends up happening with me is that I like to fight back.
Yeah.
And so what I'm afraid of is I might cross the line with being argumentative, and I'll say something and get fired immediately.
you might.
I think I'm okay with that too. Brian's been in the room when I've had some incredibly aggressive conversations with sellers too, right? There are some times that we have reached a point where you need to hear this or we need to part ways too,
Yeah.
right? And I'm not afraid to do that. Tell me, what I've been doing recently, and as I've gotten much more confident, and I've actually got stats to back some of this stuff up now, right? Because we're not idiots.
Right.
We understand some agents, when you've never taken a listing before, walking into a room with confidence is not an easy thing to do. You probably are going to have zero, right? But one of the things I've started doing is I tell them in the listing appointment when I'm going to ask for the price reduction.
Yeah, that's huge.
I tell them almost a day, like, look, I'm going to tell you right now, when we've been on the market for X amount of days, I am coming to you. We will talk about it the week prior to prepare for it. And
Yep.
we'll say, let's give it one more week at this price, and we're going to push really hard, and here's what we're going to do. But I'm telling you, next Thursday when we talk, because we talk every Thursday,
Yep.
next Thursday when we talk, we are absolutely going to reduce the price by this much. Are you going to be okay with that if we do these other things?
Absolutely.
The answer is always yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it is, but then you go and ask for it, and then they forget. Somehow they get amnesia and forget about that conversation.
Of course.
But what we will do, because we have that, we used to call it a communication guarantee. Now we just tell them up front that, look, the number one complaint is lack of communication.
Yeah.
So every Thursday, Duncan's going to reach out to you. He's going to be the one that's updating you on what's going on, and also if we need to have that price adjustment talk, he's going to be the one that brings it up, and he's not going to spring it on you and say, hey, we need to reduce right now. What we like to do is we like to to bring it up.
Right.
We like to introduce it, let you chew on it, let you digest it, and then next Thursday or earlier in the week, we're going to ask for that price adjustment.
Yeah.
And again, from there, a lot of times it is a yes, because one, the showings are a little bit slower, or the feedback that's coming in is now, suggesting, hey, we need to do an adjustment in price.
Right.
I hope every agent hears that loud and clear, man. Like if you're asking for price adjustments with no data and expecting them to make that decision while they're on the phone with you, give them some space, man. I don't go in and typically ask for $5,000 price adjustments. You're asking somebody to give up 10. We did one today for $10,001.
Really?
We wanted to get it at a certain visual,
Right.
And that was where we got it to. So I think agents need to stop, be a little bit more planned, be a little bit more strategic, be a little bit more informative to your clients. And I think you'll find that their resistance will go down and your success will probably increase exponentially because of that.
So
yeah.
what are you doing? Because we've got like 9 minutes left. What are you guys doing or going to start implementing for sale by owners? Because this is we're taking more of them, and it's weird because this is not my forte, and it now I want it to make it. Brian Murray's taking one, Arthur's taking one. We just took another one. I don't remember which agent did it, but what are you introducing on the for sale by owner front in order to start winning more of those over?
Dude, for us, we do it a little bit differently than you do. And we've talked about this in Tour Academy stuff. You guys are a lot more aggressive than we are.
Yep.
And I don't know if that's better or worse or what. It seems to be good for you guys. We just try and communicate with every FSBO that we possibly can. If you will let us in your house to come see it, we will have a conversation with you. We will build a rapport with you. We will provide value to you. And then we will let the numbers of the industry, which is 84% of FSBOs eventually hire a realtor, we'll let that work in our favor.
I think what the only thing we can call them right now are previews, and I want agents to hear this. These are not previews set under the false BS pretense that we have a buyer.
No,
we are very clear that we don't know, but we have a large enough database where assuredly we probably have somebody who is interested in your home.
Yep.
We are curious to come over because the one thing is all agents know that I can't tell from the photography. I don't care how good your photography is. I can't tell how the house is laid out. I can't see the nooks and crannies of it, right? So I'm going on 4 FSBO previews this week. Between now and Sunday, so I'll probably have a better answer for you next week. But a lot of that is just getting in relationship with people and being the safety net when they ultimately end up falling into the fire that is for sale by owners.
Yeah, I want to hear that because what we do, and we went really deep on this on our tour mastermind call on Monday, was we don't want to waste that time to go out and do the preview.
Yeah.
Right, because Jeff Glover, who's up in Detroit, talks about if you're unsure that appointment's actually going to be quality, then if you factor in the drive time there, running and meeting that person, the drive time back, that's 2.5 hours to 3 hours that you could have spent prospecting for a more quality lead or an appointment.
Or with your family, it's on a Sunday, right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever you're doing, that time's more valuable if you don't get the business at the end of the day, for sure.
So a lot of times what we do is we just go straight in and start developing that listing agent relationship, saying, look, we probably don't, right now, we don't have a buyer for your home. I'm not calling you to tell you that I potentially have a buyer. In fact, you're probably getting some of those calls.
Yeah.
I'm probably getting a preview call.
That's good to play it against. Just
you 100% should.
Yeah.
I just want to get in the room and start the relationship, right? And this is a style thing for me. I don't translate well over the phone. I don't. I'm much better in person, and I have accepted the fact that that's a more time-consuming process. I hope, and over my 7 years, it has played out so far, and I hope it continues. That is a deeper rooted process that allows me to have real crazy relationships with past clients. I got one client right now who knows everything that's going on in my personal life and sends me inspirational memes daily. Right, like he's the coolest guy I've ever met in my life, right?
Cool.
But I wouldn't have that relationship if I was a different type of person. So I think some of it is agent specific a little bit.
Yeah,
I'm willing to sacrifice the time for the potential business because I don't know
So if
a
we were
different way.
coaching on that, I would say, how can we develop a system that could get your that personality through that still didn't have to go and run those 4 to 5 previews that you already have. There's going to be a way to break that down through all right, you're not going to get your personality style as much through the phone, but can we get you over to, undoubtedly Dallas, YouTube page?
Video text message.
Yes.
I actually saw that there were a couple of really cool Facebook threads that I've been on today about text messaging for business and
Did you see Brian
the
Murray
DNC, and
on
I
there?
saw
Yep.
I saw Murray in there talking about video text, dude, and he was an advocate of that, and I think there's something to be said for that. I mean, look, you obviously are watching this right now, otherwise you wouldn't be hearing my voice say these words,
Right.
Well,
right?
unless they're on iTunes.
Unless you're on iTunes, but at the same point, you still searched out something, right? Like I think if you're not comfortable with the video side of things, man, you got to figure that out because you're going to be in trouble. We had Michael Reese on last week who was talking about his video content and what he is in his life willing to do, right, to make sure that he's able to be in a position to put that out as efficiently and effectively as possible. And I'll tell you right now, there are very few people watching this show right now who wouldn't want to replicate what that dude's doing.
Yeah, 100%.
Episode 31, Michael Reese.
Yeah,
So
that was 2 weeks ago. That was 2 weeks ago.
Which
Seems like just yesterday.
And with that, I mean, I know you've watched it multiple times with what Michael had said.
Mm-hmm.
I had a lot of messages about how, one, that was one of the best episodes ever.
Yeah, dude, we had a couple people on. He's right up there, man.
Yeah.
With a couple other best shows, dude.
I don't know where I was going with this. So episode 31, Michael Reese.
Yeah.
But it's really developing that follow-up system because that's where you're going to win the for-sale bonus. Very rarely is it, and there's always exceptions to this rule, but it's going to take probably 6 to 10 follow-ups.
Yep.
And
6 to 8 weeks probably too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It depends on when you hit them.
Sure. Day one.
Day one is going to take anywhere 6 to 8 to 10 weeks on that.
Yep.
And the number one question that I always got asked, and even I faced at that time, was what do I say when I just keep calling back? And that when I was newer and more inexperienced, I was trying to search for something to say. Now my shit's all the same. Like, I'm just following up with you.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with being candid. That's how a lot of us get by, right? There's nothing wrong with being like, hey, you told me at our appointment that, it was important that you got to wherever in the next 3 months. I'm just calling you again this week to see if you're ready to hire a realtor.
And most likely you've set that expectation in the previous appointment too, right?
Yeah.
And guess what? If you're in there having a conversation with another human being and actually being an active listener, you'll probably hear them give you something that isn't business related that you can follow up with them about to at least get your foot back in the door. Hey, Matt, it's Nick. I was just calling you, man. I saw the Cowboys won again. Awesome, buddy. They're freaking amazing. The Giants suck really bad, which is amazing.
Yep.
So,
well, you can even send a video text on that one.
And
That's
you
a
could.
video
And I
text,
think
right?
the video text thing, we got a video text from a possible recruit this week, and I thought it was one of the coolest ideas,
cool,
right?
yeah.
It was a really cool idea. So
Interesting. So I would start looking into that and start building that because I even think that's more of a low hanging fruit right now than expireds.
Yeah.
I would agree.
That pains me to say, but we're gonna make sure that for-sale boners is gonna be.
they're not going to sell their houses. They're just not. It's too hard right now.
If our
you are
listings aren't flying off the shelves,
with all the stuff that we do and the access to even just their limited access to the MLS, that's a huge deal, right? Like that is a big deal. And all the other stuff that it takes now on top of that, they're just not selling, man.
Yes. So, for-sale by owners. Where do you get that information?
Guess where? It's all free, folks.
you guys aren't going to like this.
I don't care.
It starts
Go
with a Z.
steal Zillow's data since they've been stealing your money.
Steal it right back. It's the easiest place to find FSBOs and their phone numbers.
And they can't tell you they're on the DNC either because they gave you their phone number
they
for a
just
phone
put
call.
it right there on the website.
They're like, call me, please.
Very easy.
Yep.
TourAcademy.com.
Yep.
Kelly, I didn't give you the code for a free month. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to everybody. Free month. No, I'm sorry. First month for $1.
You have to spell it all out.
We want you to have some skin in the game here. But we'll give it to you for $1. Derek.
And we're off.
I really
Let's do it.
This is going to be interactive between me
My
and you.
favorite moment of every week.
This is going to be a me and you billionaire idea because I only thought through like the first part of this.
Okay. All right.
I don't know where I'm going to go with it at the end.
It's like a Cards Against Humanity type of thing.
Yeah, I
works out
think
well.
it's going to go. I think I know the direction I wanted to go in, so I'll try and bring it back there. I'm gonna frame myself for murder, and here's how I'm gonna do it. It's gonna get better. Here's why. I think I have an end game for this, but first I need to clone myself. I think that technology already exists. Let's be honest. I think I've seen enough doppelgangers out there to think that it probably does exist. I just think they're hiding it from us. But I'll have access to it, obviously, because I'm pretty high status in my billionaire days. So I'm going to clone myself, And then my clone is going to just viciously murder somebody. I'm going to pay him to do it.
You're gonna pay him to do it.
Well, I mean, he's not going to do it on his own. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Multiplicity, but clones remember everything from your life when they become clones. So I don't know if you haven't checked out Multiplicity.
But I think they also
That's our resource.
don't they also get dumber?
Yes, they
Well,
do.
yeah. The more time you can't clone a clone. That's actually everybody knows that. You shouldn't do that. Yeah.
Did you learn that from Multiplicity?
Yeah, but I mean, I think the science holds up. They did a lot of research for that movie, but yeah, the clone's not going to want to do it, so I'm going to have to pay him, and so I do. He murders somebody, and then we set it up so it's like filmed. So then it's like Brian Force is arrested for murder. He went crazy, killed this guy. There's going to be a huge trial. Obviously, this is going to be the trial of the century because why would I do this, right? Because I'm a billionaire. I got it made. It's going to be like right before the closing arguments, and somebody's going to come bursting into the room, and they're going to be like, we got new evidence, and they're going to put it up there, and it's going to be like, here's a time-stamped security video from the murder same time. On March 28th, Brian was actually helping an old lady across the street at the same time, so I'm going to be acquitted. Or at least the jury will be hung, because there'll be two people that look like me, Anyway, the jury will be hung. The charges will have to be dropped, I assume. That this is how this is going to play out because of my stature. Now that I'm a free man, I have to get rid of my evil twin. I'm not going to say it was a clone. I'm like, there's somebody out there impersonating me, and I'm going to put a bounty on his head, Derek. I'm going to put a bounty on his head, and this is where it sort of goes off the rails because I'm not quite sure where I want to go with this yet.
I don't want to interrupt you going down the line of thought here, but I had a good idea when you were setting that up.
Let's hear it.
So, what if you have this clone, right? And you keep it in secrecy. Okay. So it's in like a lab, or you're a billionaire, you can keep it somewhere.
Yeah,
it's never seen the light of day, never seen outside. It's only seen TV. And so you, the real Brian, commit a murder the day before.
Ooh.
And then you let the clone out for his first day ever. The next day.
I'm scared of you two.
And just blame it on him. He's going to go berserk. Of course this dude murdered somebody. And then that's a good idea,
and
Derek.
Then you're off the hook,
Every
man.
time I want to murder somebody, I'll just clone myself again, release them into the wild. Of course it's understandable that they're going to fucking murder somebody. They've never been outside before. They're animals, Derek. They're wild animals with great bodies. Right? So I think that's even better. And then we'll wrap it up, Derek. We'll shoot another documentary about the dangers of cloning.
I love it. Just a public service announcement.
Oh, my God. Well, this week's billionaire idea
Brought to you by
in memory of T. Boone Pickens, R.I.P.
Stay hard.
Derek, you should probably take us out.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.